All right. So Compromise was the first poem that I wrote after my last album, I Know What I Speak Of. And I wrote it and I didn't know that it would actually be the first single for this new project, I Didn't Die. And when I wrote it, there were so many things at that time that I was feeling and going through in reference to compromise, and feeling like we're living in an age where compromise is so prominent. Everywhere we turn, we're bombarded with images, with ideas, with things that just cause us to compromise our beliefs, that cause us to compromise our truths and what we know is right. And one of the things I had to realize is that compromise is a liar. Everything that comes from compromise, every whisper, everything that, the enemy uses to try to distract us is a liar. He doesn't tell us the consequences of our actions. He won't tell us, the effects of our sin and what we'll have to go through after we give into compromise and after we give into those temptations. We have to realize that it begins with that decision. It begins with the decision that we make, that conscious choice we make to give into compromise, to give into the things that we want to do, our desires, to give into what satisfies our flesh. But every time we give into compromise, every time we listen to those whispers and we listen to the lie, we believe the lie, every time we do that, we're drawn further and further away from our life source. If you think back to moments in your life where maybe you have fallen into sin and have fallen, from God's grace, you can probably trace back that big moment in your life to a series of small compromises that you went through. Little areas in your life where you compromise your faith and compromise what you believed in. And before you know it, you find yourself in this trap, not able to get out, not able to live the life that God intended you to live. And it all began with compromise. The shield of faith would welcoming every fiery dart of doubt engraved with the words I can't. For we can't put on the helmet of salvation and be seduced, giving in to the first temptation, dropping the sword we have been given. For there is indeed a war happening that needs our full attention, that requires our... It's so important to understand it's time to say no to compromise. It's time to say no to those voices that tell us it's okay to sin. It's time to get back on that track, get back to our life source, the one and only person who can truly satisfy us and give us all the things that we need. So I encourage you, say no to compromise, say no to those things that cause God's heart pain, and say yes to righteousness. This war that we are living in, there's a war around us each and every day. There's a war for our soul, there's a war for our life, and it's up to us to say no to those things and say yes to God. So I speak to my soul and say, choose this day whom you will serve, for time is running out. It's time to say no to compromise and get back to what I'm about. Nice, I like that one.